It's the Daily Cannon, y'all, and you know what it is. We always got the up and up. We always got the things that's on the verge, and I'm excited because this brother's been in the game for a while, but now he is definitely making a name for himself in these R&B streets. It's going all the way up. We got a 2-time Grammy Award winner, probably more Grammys at this point. You know what I mean?
Receive that in Jesus' name.
Singer, songwriter, and R&B phenomenon, the one and only Elijah Blake. What's poppin', my
What's
guy?
happening, Nick? What's happening, man?
Man, I see you coming in here just ready to take over, man.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Man, you fit, your vibe already. It's R&B, rock star, and hip hop all in one, man. Is that what your aura is?
You understand, man? So like my idol is Prince.
Mm.
So I really appreciate how he presented himself. So he doesn't. I feel like nowadays black artists, we get pigeonholed into just one thing, right? Looking like criminals, presenting like villains, and you know what I mean. So I feel like with Michael and Prince, they emphasize how they presented in their fashion, and therefore their music was received that way.
Yeah,
like we call Michael the king of pop, but he was the most soulful dude ever.
Nah, that's facts.
Yeah.
So you already set it up right now. You know, on the Daily Cannon, we talk that talk. So Prince or Michael, man, which one are we going with?
I get in trouble for this all the time, but it's gonna be Prince, man.
Wow,
it's gonna be Prince.
You
bro.
going Prince over Michael? Well, okay, I'll give you, like, if we're talking musicianship as like a musician, I probably would give you that. But Michael got more hits.
But you ain't seen Prince dance though. Like he never gets in the conversation of dancing.
For the dancing, I mean, a nigga could do the splits.
You know they say that's why he was addicted to pain medicine.
Yeah, he hurt his hip or some shit, right?
But here's why I say Prince. I went to the record store the other day because we was doing the vinyls, and I just was studying, like looking at just some of the most iconic vinyls. And when I was reading the credits, I was looking at Michael's Thriller, and of course, by the way, rest in peace, Quincy Jones.
Yeah, rest in peace.
But you see on Thriller, Quincy Jones, Paul McCartney. But then when I picked up the Prince album,
Prince.
It said written, produced, everything by Prince.
Yeah.
That's artistry at its finest.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, if we're talking artistry, see, I can't even say artist because Mike is still such an artist. But if we're talking, like I said, musicianship, like Prince could pick up anything. Like I always, as growing up, playing multiple instruments, I love the fact that one of my favorite songs, I Want to Be Your Lover, Prince played every instrument on it. And I was like, ooh, I want to be able to do that too. Right. And that was like the song. I was like, I need to know how to play every part of I Want to Be Your Lover.
I didn't even know you played.
Yeah. I get around a little bit.
That's incredible.
Yeah. The part and the punt.
Favorite instrument? I got to know. Favorite instrument?
Piano all day. Like, because I'm cool on the guitar, but like I'm better on the piano. Or drums. But drums, you got to stick with it. If you don't fucking practice that shit, like I can't do none of that shit from drumline.
Blew my mind. I went to Toronto, like when Bieber,
nice.
When that era happened, when he had to duck off for a little bit, and Pooh Bear, myself, went to Toronto. We was working with Bieber, and I didn't know he played all those instruments. And around that time was
nice on the drums.
So you know,
okay.
I thought I was putting you on to something.
Nah, I mean, a lot of people don't know too. Like I was a part of the early career of Justin Bieber when he was on Island. I used to run Teen Island, so it was like L.A. Reid and all of that stuff, and Scooter Braun. Like so,
dang, bro,
when he was still an internet kid. We was breaking them. Like I was the first person to ever put him on television. I put him on Nickelodeon back in the day. Like so,
mind blown.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, but nah, definitely know that dude had talent for a long time. But we here to talk about you, man, and the new project. What we got popping?
Man, so the album is out right now. We just put out the deluxe. So the first part of the album is self-titled.
Yeah.
And I just feel like throughout my career, it's been like, go this way, go that way, dress this way, do this way. So me doing this project on my own terms, I wanted no features. Because how many times have you heard a song and the rapper get on there and start talking about something completely opposite? You know what I mean? So live instrumentation, I took my whole budget, bro, and spent it on live strings, live horns.
Wow.
Really told my truth. But then this deluxe, I said, let's have fun. Let's really bring back that 90s essence with like, collaborations, Kiki Wyatt, Avant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got Kim Burrell, Keisha Cole, Seven Streeter. It's a fun project.
Real ones.
Real singing, duets, high notes, belting, all the good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So if there was one emoji that could describe this project, what would it be?
The boot. The boot emoji.
Just kicking ass.
Man.
Knocking boots.
Yeah, man. And because my feet hurt because now the character for this project always has on a boot.
Oh, okay.
And I had on the boot the other day and I went to do leg day. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to go into the next phase of this.
There it is, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. Now, renowned songwriter, man. You've been doing it. Like, how did you even get into the game of just songwriting? Because a lot of people don't know. Like that. Not only does that take, that's a different muscle. That's a different skill set.
Yeah.
But that it's really the essence of R&B music is who wrote it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad now that people get the attention is on the songwriter.
Yeah.
Because for me, I just kind of just was doing it for survival. I was signed to Songbook when Trey was working on Ready.
Yeah. Troy Taylor.
Shout out to Troy Taylor. You already know.
Yeah.
So no one wanted to write for me. I was just kind of like, everybody wanted to write for Trey. You know what I mean? It was like, who's this 15-year-old kid in the studio just ducked off in the corner?
Right.
But I was studying. And I was watching Chef Tone come through. I was watching Jonte Austin come through. Brian Michael Cox and all these amazing people.
Yeah.
And, Troy and Trey would be like, yo, that's Elijah. But they used to call me Red. Like, that's Red. He's going to be somebody one day. They're like, yeah, but let's work on you. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, I don't want Mike Karen to just be like, well, what's Elijah doing the whole time?
Right.
I'm supposed to be in college. I'm in high school. I'm getting homeschooled. So I just started writing for myself and just really telling my stories. And Trey really pulled me aside. He was like, bro, you got a gift of storytelling. Yeah. And I kind of was like irritated, like, whatever, nigga. Like, you got everybody writing for you.
Yeah.
And he'll come back. He'll be like, no, but you really got a gift of storytelling. And that's when we did Jupiter Love. Word just kind of moved throughout the industry. Like, that's a little 15-year-old kid wrote that record.
Yeah.
But that's how I got with Mary and Beyonce and everybody else.
Man, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
so,
bro.
I mean, now, because I always say, though, and I ask you this, too, like, based off of who you believe is the dopest songwriter in R&B. But now, people, I feel like, are recognizing that the writers are artists just as much.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, you got everybody, like, from The Dream to, Neo. Like, those are probably some, at least our generation, are the ones that crossed over and people really recognize. But people been doing that for decades. From Babyface to... people just don't even know, like, some of the dopest writers. Like, people don't know, like, Keith Sweat wrote some of the monster hit. People don't know Keith Sweat wrote Let's Chill. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff like that when you can flex both muscles of being an amazing songwriter and an amazing artist at the same time.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite songwriter of all time? Songwriter turned artist.
Can I pick a songwriter / artist?
Okay.
And this is gonna cause some trouble.
I hope Prince again.
No. This is actually gonna
light skin war in this.
No. I was actually hoping that this question didn't get brought up because I can't front or lie. If you look at all my,
well, you about to say the right answer.
Mariah,
absolutely, absolutely.
And I've said this in every
answer.
interview. You could pull my card. I've said this in every interview. I think because she was such a big artist and such a renowned vocalist, people forget that she wrote them songs.
Yeah.
So I had this argument with somebody during Verses, and I was like, do you know that this woman can play every song and it'd be a number one? She can literally play. She's the only one who
number
can
one
play
than anybody.
She can play
More
number
than
ones
Drake.
for every round.
Yeah.
And she wrote them.
Yeah.
So shouldn't she be in the conversation?
She absolutely. I'm gonna sit here and fan out for my baby mama, but it's the truth. I've been saying it, from the beginning, just based off of like her. This is what I think, and then what she probably would like to hang her hat on is her songwriting ability. I mean, like even when you think about All I Want for Christmas is like that's a hallmark.
The copyright
at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't even have a lot of people who make copyrights that are still alive currently. And we haven't even seen the heights that song is probably still gonna do. But it's like she loves being a songwriter.
Right.
But her artist was so much bigger. People didn't even understand. Like, and not to knock going back to those songs, like even your debates with Michael and Prince. Like, that's like the only thing I would say about Mike is that he didn't write his biggest hits.
Don't be mad at you about this, but the truth is the truth.
Yeah. So there's something about the artistry and being able to write songs. So I definitely agree that Mariah is probably the greatest. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, just numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
And then even like I said, to have a copyright that makes millions and millions of
every
dollars
year. She don't do nothing is going to go number one.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy. So, I know you was going to go that direction, but I appreciate it.
But can I say it's been the opposite for me in my career?
Yeah. Tell me why.
I feel like people have used my songwriting to actually minimize my artistry. It's just now turning. So I've had the opposite experience as Mariah, because I started off as an artist, but the world was introduced to Elijah Blake as a songwriter.
Right.
So with big songs like Climax and Enough of No Love, those songs have kind of like overshadowed my artistry for so long.
Right.
And at Def Jam, I kept wondering, why is this a conversation? It was like, is he a writer or is he an artist? I'm just like, why does it have to be one or the other?
Right.
Because again, I'm inspired by Prince, singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Mariah, singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill,
Yeah.
singer-songwriter. Stevie Wonder, singer-songwriter.
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, but they really made me feel like I had to choose.
Yeah.
To the point I would sit up at night in the bed and be like, well, damn, am I a songwriter or am I an artist? So I just finally now feel like I have the team. By the way, Peter told me to say, my manager Peter said, say what's up. By the way, he said, you know you during the job days. Yeah. But when he was leaving Def Jam, he kind of like, without saying it, was like, bro, they not going to get it. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, well, bro, take me with you. He's like, I can't take you with you. I'm finna go work for Beyonce.
right.
Well, you know, when you get her right, like, come back and get me.
Exactly.
And it's working out because he understands that I don't have to pick.
Yeah, and I think the game is starting to understand that too, because we see some of the, dopest songwriters are having amazing, like, fans like people who know how to tell stories and can get to it, man. So, I mean, I commend everything that you rock with and wish you nothing but continued success,
you,
man.
bro.
I know the artist thing is gonna work out for you.
Thank
Clearly, here at the Daily Canon, we be having silly questions and stuff like this. So, if you could write a song for any cartoon character, who you writing a song for?
You know, this one just came up to the top of my head. I'd write it for Susie on Rugrat. Being around all them little bratty white kids and the black girl, they never had her hair done. I'd write it for Susie.
Just a black woman anthem.
Exactly.
These damn white kids around here playing with me.
They leaving
I ain't
me
the
out.
one to play with.
Right. She not on certain episodes. I used to watch episodes like, where'd Susie go? Like, they left her off on the whole season. Like,
Yo, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it, man. And then, I mean, going back into your songwriting bag, I mean, who is your favorite artist that you've ever worked with?
favorite artist I've ever worked with. I think the obvious question is just because she really played a part in me coming in for the world seeing me as an artist. She didn't let up.
Wow.
Like anytime I would be in a room, everybody else was kind of like, oh, this is the writer. But Keisha would always be like, he does music as well.
Yeah.
And anytime somebody addressed me as a songwriter, she'll be like, but wait, he's also an incredible artist. She really has fought for me my entire career. In a strange way, it's kind of like, dang, like, everybody told me you was gonna be mean. Interscope was like, help us. This girl don't like us. And she needs
She's a real one from Oakland.
Yeah, that's that Oakland love. And I just think that, she's a special person. And that's why our friendship still runs deep to this day. If I'm going through heartbreak, she's talking me off a ledge. She literally like had to pull me out of a street fight one time. Like, she really got my back.
Yeah,
So that's the most. But I would say, can I throw a special one in there?
Of course.
I would also say Mary J Blige. I wasn't ready for that session. And I do wish that I could go back and do that one over.
What do you mean you wasn't ready?
I wasn't ready. I didn't understand who Mary was. Like, I didn't understand the magnitude of Mary.
Oh, she's
You
the
know what I
one.
mean?
Yeah.
Because I was a baby in her prime. And when I got to work with her, I was like, I was just in a routine of just doing 5 sessions a day, 4 sessions a day. And I was like writing for her. And I remember she was going to do this song. And she printed out the lyrics. She's like really big on lyrics. So she had them print out the lyrics. And she looked at the piece of paper and she looks at me and she said, now who really wrote this? I said, I wrote this. She said, ain't this about a bitch? I'm going through it and you writing it and you putting my life in the words. But when I came up out of it and I really went down her catalog, I was like, I was in the studio with Mary J Blige.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
My first album, I did a record with her. She's on my first, and I always wanted it to be a single, but it was like they thought it was too adult.
Yeah.
And even to this day, when I hear her sing Nick Cannon and MJB, I was like, she's singing me. Like, and then it's crazy because there's a record that I wrote. I wrote it. Well, I didn't write it. I want to ask you about this too. I participated on it with Mariah, but I produced the beat, the one that went viral not too long ago. It's a Rap.
Yeah.
And when I was making the beat, or when I was in the studio, 'cause we was married, I was downstairs in the studio just doing shit, and she literally, Mariah popped in like, "Ooh, what's that? I like that." But I was making like a Mary, I'm going down type of joint.
Now I hear it too.
And then she was like, okay. And then, you know, I didn't even put my name on it because I didn't want people to be like, oh, she got her husband, right? Like, thinking it was so. I was like, yo, we should just, you know, let's get JD or whoever.
Right.
I forgot who came in and actually did the live instrumentation on it. But the whole time we was thinking like we was going to make one of the Mary joints. Yeah. And then for her deluxe project, she put Mary's on that record. I was like, I produced probably the only record with Mariah Carey
and Mary J Blige.
Mary J Blige on it.
Wow.
So, but it's like that. I have that.
Did you
same
get credit
reference.
for it though?
Huh?
Did you get credit for it?
It's under my pseudonym of the Heat Miser. That's
okay. So that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's fair. Like, just because you are her significant other or were her significant other at the time, that's still your work.
Yeah.
It's still your art. And I find that that's a hard place for a lot of people.
It is, and that's why I kind of backed off of that. I never wanted to be, as much as I love artistry, I would always let, you know, especially that's my wife, like, I'm going to let you, I don't want to be in the studio. I don't want to come, you know, around just because I never wanted to be that guy either. Like, so I had so much respect and reverence. Like, I don't belong in the studio with Mariah Carey. Like, she do whatever she want to do.
Do you feel like you shrunk yourself in that relationship?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I recently just talked about it in the sense, I think I was talking to Ray Daniels and they clipped like me talking like I was talking shit. But what the conversation started was like, I was so young and insecure and not really ready for that, that I literally either I would clamor down and be like, I don't belong here, or I would run, you know what I mean? And be like, so I would always try to hide in the shadows because I wasn't ready for the magnitude.
Which is amazing to hear, because speaking to you now and just from what I've just seen throughout your career, you don't even seem like a person that would be a second thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think because I presented the right way. I think it was just I was just so young because I knew how to play my position.
Right.
Like I had I heard the jokes and I'm the boy toy and all this and what she like. So I knew how to be like, oh, okay, I see how everybody's receiving it.
Right.
So I'll play along with, but them, you know, late at night, I'm like, damn, what am I doing? How am I prepared? Do I belong with her? Am I? Damn, you know, like all of that shit used to fuck with me so much so it got to a place where like I didn't know who I was. And so I was like, I had to be like, all right, let me figure this whole thing out. And that a lot of that started when I became a father, and that's like real conversation started to happen. Right. And that's like we never had any beef, no problems.
I could tell just even how you're able to speak about her.
We was together last night. You know what I mean? Like it's never like an issue. Like that's literally always gonna be one of my best friends. But I just wasn't ready I wasn't ready to be that guy.
Yeah. I struggle with that because even me, because I started so young, like just in terms of in the music industry, I find that when I get into relationships, I'm usually more often than not, I would love it if we were always equally yoked. Yeah. The more successful financially and so I find that I shrink myself. Yeah. Even as the leader I shrink myself because it's hard going into a room with your significant other, a Rock Nation brunch. Yeah. I remember when Climax won the Grammy, and there was a party, and my girl Mariah, we walked in the room, and everyone just ignored her, and I just felt so bad, you know, because I kept having to say, by the way, did you meet Amaya? Yeah. By the way, this is Amaya. Yeah. And she didn't mind, but she never asked me to shrink myself. Yeah. But I found myself like, damn, I just wish nobody speak to me because they're gonna speak to me and then not speak to her, or they're gonna just ignore her and she's gonna feel it. So in a lot of relationships, I'll just like hope that people don't acknowledge me or give me a compliment and not my significant other, because I'm just kind of like, you know.
Nah, I feel you. I just being in a relationship with anybody in this industry or art, like it's not normal. Yeah, we're not normal human beings. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like so, like it's a lot that comes along with it, man. I should having an interview done turn into a therapy session.
My bad, bro.
That's great conversation.
Yeah, I need material. I'm about to start the next album, so I need material, bro. I'll give you publishing.
I love it. Use it all. And that lastly, just back on your the project as well, and then even so. On a Prince vibe, you wrote everything on the project, or did you
wrote and co-wrote?
Okay, so that's what I want to talk about, even in that co-writing aspect. As a writer, and nowadays, you know, I'm very sensitive to it because one, I've probably been burned on this situation a lot of times, but also when creating art, it's very important. Are you a fan of we got 20 writers in a room and everybody come up with something? Or is it like, I have something to say? And if I got to jump in with one or two other people, that's my people.
Yeah.
Because that's even going back to, Mariah for a second. She writes all her records, but she don't have no problem, vibing with B. Cox or, Jonta or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's her voice. It's what she wants to say.
Exactly, because I still think that's your artistry. For me, you have to be very confident because it can get messy. Everybody forgets what they did on the record.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did it all. Man, I came up with the title.
Exactly. So
I walked in the room and said, my ass is popping. And everybody
it's my song. Y'all niggas couldn't even make it to the bridge until I got but for me, I think it's beautiful when amazing people come together. It's like making gumbo. You know what I mean? You need every ingredient, and it's beautiful. But sometimes if I'm really talking some shit that I went through, I don't want no one in the room because I don't want that story being convoluted. If I'm talking about, like on this album, there are things that are still unresolved with me and my biological father. I don't really have the space to invite anybody into that. Right. Because those are songs that's still hard for me to listen back. I skip over Father Abraham on the album every time. Wow. Because that's just too personal. I just had to get it out. Yeah. And I hope he hears it. There's also a song that talks about me being molested in church. Wow. And I never listened to that song. Like, it came on the other day on shuffle, like on my Apple Music. Yeah. And I almost got into a car accident trying to skip past it. I'm not on that vibe right now. Yeah. But I couldn't tell my mom who did it and that it happened. But I felt that she was asking me, like, who did it? How did it happen? I couldn't tell her, and I lied to her face again. Like, she said the person's exact name. We were sitting down on the bed, and one day, like, as an adult, we were sitting down on the bed. I went home for Thanksgiving, and she looked over. She's like, did so-and-so touch you? Out of nowhere. And I looked her in her face, and I said, no. Because I just didn't want to disappoint her as a mother. Like, she did so much, and she wanted to make sure that her kids didn't become a statistic, so she was working 3 jobs. Wow. So it's like I never felt an absence as a mother because you were a provider, you were all these things. And I know the moment that she takes that reality in, she's going to feel like she failed, regardless of all the amazing things she did. So songs like that.
Wow, man, that's powerful.
Yeah,
man. I appreciate you being that vulnerable and sharing that, man, like that. If anything, I mean, you taking people through the journey of who you are. It's going to make people want to dive in and really just embrace the whole project.
Because it's like, what's our purpose, Nick? It's like the streams ain't making it make sense. They're literally not making it make sense. It's 0.00012 cents.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so it's like, what are we doing that's going to live and really heal and just bless people? And what's my purpose? Because I've seen you've definitely seen when the industry really made money. Yeah. It ain't that no more. Yeah, so if I'm taking money and reinvesting into my projects, like, it's got to be a part of something bigger, a purpose. By the way, I told my sister I might call her because the first MP3 I ever bought and purchased, I'm not lying, was Parents Just Don't Understand.
The Jimmy Neutron, Me 3LW, and Lil Romeo.
I forgot Romeo was on there. My bad, Romeo. But I knew you.
I wrote his part. It's all good.
Nah. They don't understand.
Yeah.
That used to be my joint.
Crazy.
Yeah, I love songwriting, but there's one point I want to say towards songwriters. We get into there's a really bad habit that formed where certain artists felt like they deserved publishing just because they were who they were. And we were in a position that's like, do you want to eat, or do you want this big ass artist to cut your record and change your life? Yeah. And so you'll give them 10%, then it became 20%. Then it became 30%. Then it got to where, because I am who I am, I ain't say a word, but I want 40% of this record. Right. And your publishers, everybody's like, just give it to them. But then now they're saying they co-wrote the record. Yeah. So you're having to partake in this lie. And
you had the Grammy standing next to them.
Yeah, and they get the Grammy. And then you got to remember the lie. So then, like, you'll do an interview, and they'll say, yeah, you wrote this record. And you're like, yeah, I wrote the record. And then that artist will DM you like, motherfucker, you're making me look like a liar because I co-wrote it, but you didn't though. You know what I mean? I gave it to you politically. Yeah. But now this lie is festering and festering. And I just think that's the most unfair thing because so many songwriters, we are the ones who make the songs. I've watched them had to move back home to Milwaukee, move back home to Idaho. And these superstars who don't even need the money. That's pennies in their account. Get to thrive, and it's just killing. So that's why you have I think the climate that we're in now is a result of superstars abusing their positioning and their power. So now you have Money Long, who says, I'm just going to keep the songs myself.
Yeah.
She just is tired.
Yeah.
I mean, her and I would sit in the studio and just talk about like, damn, like I had to give this person 20%. Or this person stole my, you could just tell she's just tired of giving away her songs.
Now she's a superstar.
You know, Victoria Monet, she's just tired. Me, I could have done it for a little while longer, like giving some of my big songs away. But it just got to the point now where it's like, I'm gonna just keep it for myself.
Man, that's dope though.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Cause now we get to, witness and experience you as an artist.
Thank you, Brody.
So keep it going, man.
Thank you,
Thanks
man.
for rocking with us on the Daily Canon.
Thank
you're
you for having
more
me,
than
bro.
welcome
Thank you for
anytime.
having me.
Make sure y'all go cop that project, the deluxe version.
The deluxe version, please, man. Help me get this.
And
get
if
this
they wanna follow you and all that stuff, well,
it's just Sir Elijah Blake on every platform. I feel like I'm British in a way. I want to be like Paul McCartney.
My man.
Yeah, thank you.
We out.
Yep.